Hello gamers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm covering a topic that might not interest many of you, but I'm doing it anyway because I think it's essential in DC Dark Legion. The topic is a guide on how to climb as high as possible in the training simulator, along with tips to defeat tough team formations in the training simulator. Before we start the video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss my latest uploads. Now, let's jump straight into the main content. First, you should use auto to select the highest power team to fight. I'm pretty sure you'll win continuously until you face an opponent that counters your team. That's when you should start changing your lineup. There are several possible situations. The first and most common case is when you don't have a strong damage dealer like Constantine. You might face a healing and tank-heavy team, making it impossible to win within the 2-minute limit. In that case, swap in more damage dealers. Ideally, 3 or 4 damage dealers, with 1 healer and 1 tank or an attack support hero like Flash or Vixen. At that point, dealing damage is more important than just surviving. For example, when I faced a team with 2 Bane and 3 Raven, I used Poison Ivy as my healer, Scarecrow as my tank, and Superman, Joker, and Sinestro as my damage dealers. You can also replace them with legendary heroes like Black Adam, Green Arrow, Mera, Wonder Woman, etc. However, keeping Joker is still recommended for spreading poison damage faster. You can also use other strong mythic damage dealers, such as Batman, Lex Luthor, Two-Face, or Arsenal, especially if you're lucky enough to star them up higher than your Mythic Plus heroes from the banner. Batman, Lex Luthor, and Two-Face are my go-to picks when dealing with stall teams. Of course, there are many other heroes you can try out and discover for yourself. When you face opponents with strong offense, meaning you'll get defeated before the timer runs out, the first thing you need to focus on is increasing your team's survivability while still keeping at least 1 main damage dealer. You can make the changes gradually. For example, if my team is Red Hood, Joker, Constantine, Supergirl, and Superman, I'll first swap out Red Hood for a healer, either Raven or Crypto. I personally prefer Raven because Crypto isn't strong enough to support Supergirl yet, even at 4 purple stars. I think Crypto would need to reach 5 red stars to be truly effective. So for now, Raven is still my best choice. If I still lose, I'll swap out Supergirl for Dr. Fate since he can create shields to boost my team's survivability. If I lose again, I'll replace Joker with Crypto to further increase survivability. And if I'm still losing after that, I'll replace Superman with Wonder Woman as she can stun enemies to buy more time for my team. This works for my team because I know exactly who to replace and who to keep each time I lose. Your team might be different since every player has different heroes, star levels, and gear. So, here's a list of heroes you can use to boost survivability. Mythic Plus, Scarecrow, Starfire, Mythic, Bane, Shazam, Poison Ivy, Green Lantern. Legendary, Mera. Some of the heroes I mentioned earlier in my own lineup won't be repeated here. You can figure those out yourself. When you face opponents that are strong in both offense and defense, they usually have only 1 main damage dealer. The solution is to use an assassin-type hero to target and eliminate that damage dealer. For me, I usually use Deathstroke, Green Arrow, or Robin, since they allow you to target specific enemies. Deathstroke automatically attacks the highest damage enemy, but sometimes his damage isn't enough because mine is only at 5 white stars. That's why I mostly use Green Arrow in PvE modes, because you can choose your target freely there, while in PvP you can only target the front row. Green Arrow is also a legendary hero, which makes it easier to star up, and his damage is usually higher than Deathstroke's. If one assassin isn't enough to take out the opponent's main damage dealer before they use their ultimate, you can use 2 assassins instead. That way, you'll have a much better chance of defeating them first, securing the win for your team. If you don't have enough stars or power on the 3 heroes above, you can use the 2 Al Ghul family members. Their downside is that it's harder to pick the exact target. You'll need to place them in the right position to hit the correct enemy. Nightwing is also a good choice in the training simulator, since enemies are usually balanced in power there, that meaning the best damage dealer will almost always have the lowest HP. Sinestro can work too, but his targeting is random, and since all of them are Mythic Plus, they're a bit harder to
I've
obtain.
always loved
For
when the
Mythic
color
heroes with
is
similar
yellow.
abilities, you can use Lex Luthor, who attacks either the entire back row or the front row, depending on which has more heroes. Arsenal has lower damage than Robin, but all 9 of his hits are focused on a single target. Even though he chooses his target randomly, you can just retry until he hits the one you want. Robin deals more damage, but only his first slash can be targeted. The rest are
Robin's on
random.
it.
So you can use the same retry tactic as with Arsenal. Among legendary heroes, only Green Arrow stands out in this role. However, you can pair
Where do I
Captain
go?
Cold with Green Arrow to increase the latter's damage by using Captain Cold's ultimate first,
Stone
then Green Arrow's
Cold.
ultimate, since both can choose their targets. When you face opponents who summon a lot of
I'll take care
minions,
of this.
like Poison
With a
Ivy,
little help
Raven, and
from my
similar
secret
heroes,
garden.
who also heal heavily, you might not have enough damage to defeat them within the time limit. The best solution here is to use
I like
Joker.
looking
Joker can
serious.
quickly take down summoned
I
minions,
am
and when those minions are
mysterious.
infected with his
Ooh,
venom,
I can
it
do it
spreads
in
to
laser
other
spray.
minions and rapidly snowballs. This makes Joker deal massive damage to the enemy team over time. However, not everyone has Joker, so my go-to alternative is using strong AoE, area of effect damage dealers. Legendary Red Hood. If you remember my Training Simulator level 100 video, I showed how Red Hood could beat a team with 2 Poison Ivy, 2 Bane, and Scarecrow. He's very easy to get, which is why he became my first legendary hero to reach 5 red stars. He's also the only legendary with extremely strong AoE damage. Mythic, Aquaman, Two-Face, Batman, Lex Luthor. These heroes have powerful AoE skills that can wipe out all the summoned minions, making it easier for your main damage dealers to finish off the enemy team. Mythic Plus, Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, Supergirl, Constantine, Joker, Scarecrow. If you can, I recommend aiming for Constantine and Supergirl in particular, since both their first skill and ultimate are AoE, making them perfect for countering summoners.
I mean this in the best possible way. Up yours.
Let me make some quick calculations.
There's another tricky situation you might run into when the enemy uses Atom. If he's defeated, he explodes, which can cause your entire team to lose, especially if the enemy has 5 atoms. I made a video called Training Simulator from level 1031 to level 1085, but I didn't explain the reason there. So here it is. In that battle, I used Raven. When she uses her ultimate, she flies in the air for a few seconds and
I like
becomes
looking
immune to damage.
mysterious.
This means that if you defeat
I
all 5
am
atoms while Raven is
mysterious.
airborne, she'll survive the explosions, leaving you with one hero still alive and securing the win. If you don't have Raven, here are alternatives. Legendary. You can use Atom himself. Just make sure he's strong enough to
Let
survive
me
until the
make
very
some quick
end,
calculations.
and it's best to place him in the back row. As long as your atom is the last one alive, the enemy's 5 atoms will explode first, and then yours will explode afterward, which means your team wins. Ra's al Ghul. Since he
Enemy
revives when
summoned
all
ghoul.
allies are defeated, you can
I
win if all
obey.
enemy atoms use their ultimate and your Ra's al Ghul comes back afterward. I think that's all the difficult situations covered, so I'll end the video here. If you're still having any problems, feel free to leave a comment below the video so I can look into it and respond to you as soon as possible. Also, I've included links to some useful videos in the comments section. Check them out to help more people discover my channel. Thank you all so much.